Hey y'all, thanks for tuning back in. Y'all been seeing us do some frog fishing, and we're wanting to talk a little bit about that today. Is our frogs, where we use what frogs, when, in different scenarios. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show y'all how to replace the hooks in a popping frog. Because standard they come with 3/0 hooks, and you get that 4/0 hook, it'll really help you out, and we'll get to that a little later in the video. First thing, I want to start with what I think is the slowest way to fish a frog, and it is this frog right here. It is the popping frog. That is actually from Spro, and that is a Spro popping frog. And when I roll up to a place and it is got a lot of coverage in it, that is when I want to pick up that popping frog. What that popping frog does, it'll stay in the strike zone a lot longer, and it'll give you a bigger diameter as far as drawing power. Say, as versus the walking frog, it don't have near as much drawing power as the popping frog does. The popping frog, it may have a 6 or 8 foot diameter to where it'll actually draw fish in. They can hear it when you're just popping that frog. It's going bloop, 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 and they see the profile of it there, and it has a lot more drawing power. So if you come up to a place, it's kind of thick, looks like that you see some bait fish going in and out of the grass and different things, the hydrilla, the milfoil, the different kind of grasses we got, and but it looks kind of thick, and you need that extra drawing power. That is when I go to that popping frog. And it really does pay off. We've got several fish on that popping frog, and it'll draw them right into it. But the next, I think that's the slowest frog. That the slowest way we fish one would be that. We keep in the strike zone longer, and we make more noise with it. And sometimes, especially when it's hot like this, we're coming up on the dog days of summer, these fish are going to be sluggish, and they're not going to be want to chasing, they're not going to be running real hard, they're going to want to conserve the energy, and they're just like us. So you leave that in the strike zone longer and make it just pop longer, then you're more likely to get bit on that kind of frog. And the next kind of frog, it is from Spro also. It is the Spro walking frog. And one quick tip about this is, you can see this back here has been cut off, and we've trimmed that a little bit because what we've noticed is a lot of times they'll stick way out here. Instead of up here, they'll be back here. And one thing that we've noticed about that, you'll get a lot of short strikes when you leave that skirt long. You ain't got to trim it, but if they're finicky and they're really not wanting to eat that good, you can trim that skirt up, and they'll actually commit more to eating the frog than just nipping at the skirt. And when we come up to a place and it's got some grass, it's got just a little bit of cheese on top, we'll pick up that frog when we're wanting to move a little quicker, and we'll throw that around. It don't have the drawing power as the popping frog does, but what it does do is you can cover a little bit more water with it, and you could throw it out there and walk it back, and it's a good bait also for the pads. If you're getting come up on some lily pads, and you can just throw that, and it'll just walk right across the top of those. You can slow roll that walking frog, you can just slow roll it, and it'll come right over with them lily pads when they're just thick like a mat. Looks like you can walk on them. You can slow roll that frog, and them fish will come out when there's a little bit of opening. See, just a small opening, and they will come out, and they'll eat that if them fish are in there. But you can walk that thing, and it'll just go back and forth when you're over that cheese, back and forth. And I don't know, we've caught a lot of fish off that, and that's the technique that we like to use when we're looking for in that sort of type of area. And the last one I want to talk about is the clapping frog. Some people call it the bubbling frog. some people, there's all kinds of different names for it, but we call it a clapping frog. And what all we do with that is when we pull up to say a back pocket somewhere it's got a lot of grass, or it's just you've got a river bank that's just got 2 miles of grass on it, we like to pick up that clapping frog right there. And there's some places we fish, it's you got cheese on this side, you got cheese on this side, it's on both sides. And what it is, it's further than you can cast on both sides. You barely got a trail big enough to get your boat into there and to fish it. And we will pick up this clapping frog and we will start covering a lot of ground with that. And that you can see as they'll flicker back and forth and they'll paddle like a little paddle tail, and you can cover a lot of ground with that right there. And you can also get some reaction bites off of that, because it trails through the water, as you can see, and it makes a lot of commotion. And you can take that walking frog in places, and you can come right back with that clapping frog, and you can actually get reaction bites off of that. And because it makes a lot of noise, it disperses a lot of water, and it will cause them to eat that thing when instead of out of hunger, it will cause them to eat it out of aggravation. And before we end the video, I'm going to go over these hooks, how to replace the hooks in a popping frog. So we see that we have our popping frog here, and all we're going to do, we're going to get us some line right here, and we're going to get some, and you gotta wet this. I'm gonna go wet this. And the reason we wet this is because you can see this right here where the hooks will come out and the hook is in it right there. That will actually, it'll get dry, it'll get hard, and when we pull these hooks out, it's going to crack, it's going to bust, then the frog is no good. But what we're going to do, I'm going to show y'all, we're going to connect it just like we connect it when we're fishing on our line, and then we're going to work this thing out. So I'm going to tie my knot into it. Just a regular fishing knot here. That way we can work that out and not have no problems. Make sure we got it good and tight right there. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take this in, we're going to work it loose. We're going to roll it back and forth. We're going to get that good and loose. Then we're going to take it right here. And we're going to pinch this up. We're going to pinch this up top after we grab the hooks on the bottom. We're going to grab those. We're going to grab it right here. And we got to be real careful. And we're going to kind of work that out. We're going to pull it. We want to go slow. We want to be real careful, because we do not want to rip the frog. Then we pull that out. It's just like that. We still got, looks good. Looks good everywhere. And now what we do is we cut that off. I'm gonna get my pliers. We're gonna come back here. We're gonna cut plenty of excess of this line. That way we're sure get it back in the frog. We're going to cut our line off this hook. I'm going to take this little part right here. I'm going to put it back on this hook right here. This is a 3/0. I just had that 4/0 in there to show y'all. We're going to put this back over the hook. We're going to pull it to the front. That's what we're going to put back in the frog. We've got to tie this back on. We're going to tie that just like we're tying it to our fishing pole, just like we did the first one. We'll make sure when we start that hook in there that we can pull it all the way through without any issues whatsoever. We do not want to mess up our frog, and we do not want to waste no time, especially if we're doing this out on the water. We don't want to waste no time. So we got it back on our hook, and we got our line still through the frog. And what we do, make sure that's still good and wet. We're going to start it in like we want it to end. So we're going to start them hooks on the up side of the frog. They're going to be facing up. We're going to pull that right there until we start to get that in. We're going to poke that in there. And we're going to pull it a little bit to start that next and in there. And then we're going to push this hook in there. As soon as I can get that to pull in there without ripping that, got to be real careful. And then the hook starts, get your skirt the way it needs to be. Get it all out of the way. What I like to do is I'll go ahead and bring this up here where I want it at and kind of push up on it. And then I'll pull that right through. And then I pull this skirt back out of the way. I got it pulled all the way out the front. Get that skirt pulled out the back. Pull it out the front, and there we go. We've got our other hooks and how to put. I took a 4/0 and put it to a 3/0 because I already had my 4/0 in there. But that is how you want to do your frog. If you want to upgrade your hooks from a 3 to a 4, that is all you got to do. And we love fishing with frogs. Almost every single body does. And you get out, you're throwing the frogs, you learn new things every time you go, different techniques, different places, how to retrieve it, how fast, how slow, and it's just fun. You pitch that, you throw that frog out there over that grass mat on that cheese, and you're just working that frog, and that fish, it just boom, and you just set that hook on it. Man, there's nothing like that. That is a time of my life. It is so much fun. That's what we enjoy doing when that grass comes up, and we get to try to do that if the water, really we start back, if the water is at least 55 degrees, we will start throwing that frog, and we'll throw it all the way into fall. And we have an absolute ball doing that. And we hope these techniques, these tricks, these tips has helped y'all, and we hope to hear from y'all. And we want to put out this video hopefully to teach y'all, to help us remember, and we can go out there and get a bow and a pole.